our guests of honor here, one by one for you, and they will be coming up on the stage. First off, one of Freddy's most awesome fighters, Miss Lisa Wilcox. Tuesday night. And I'm going to make sure I say his name right. Andros Jones. Next, Danny Hassel. The original, Amanda Weiss. This, I am so sorry. I knew I'd screw up one of them. Here we go. Next, Ronnie Blakely, the woman who killed Freddy. And of course, they got wine. I didn't get wine. And next, the daughter of the man himself, Lisa Zane. And last but not least, the man of your dreams and mine. There he is, Mr. Robert England. So it's not a very big stage, so I'm going to be helping take questions from you all in the audience. But I'm going to start off with one question for all of you. What's a story we haven't heard yet from the set of the film you were in? Hit the button.
Me and buttons, you don't want to know. Okay. Well, gosh, one I've never told, but here's something interesting. When I was filming Night Before, and it was a active day. I got home at like 1 in the morning, and I'm walking home. I parked my car in the garage, and I'm tired, and I'm walking with my script bag and my purse, and I'm just walking. I have my glasses on. I need them for driving. And I'm walking, and all of a sudden I see these huge, like size 13 white tennis shoes at the corner of my back door, and I'm looking up, and I'm looking up, and I'm looking up, and there's this huge man who proceeds to mug me. Yeah, his right hand comes over my face. The lenses out of my glasses pop out, okay? My instinct was to, and I've been to New York many times, was never mugged in New York. No, I was robbed in Los Angeles, California. Anyway, my instinct was to cross my, protect my heart, and immediately start screaming. And I had been screaming that day on set, so it was fine. Screaming. So my neighbor upstairs opened the window, and then my husband comes running out the back door with a butcher knife, ready to stab the guy. Anyway, the guy threw me on the ground, and he grabbed my script bag, and the strap broke, and it had my camera and my original script in the bag. Anyway, he went running. He was never found. But he has my script, and I wish he'd give it back, and my camera. Anyway, so there's the story.
Wow. Okay. Is this working? Hello? Okay, well, I'll use that.
Use your theater voice.
Thank you. So, I don't know if there's any stories that I haven't told, but that actually happened to me. So, let me tell you about the time that all of us as a cast to get ready for the production. Rennie brought in ayahuasquero to give us all an ayahuasca trip, and we all took ayahuasca together, and we went on this vision quest to experience the true nature of dreams. And I think that's the reason that Nightmare 4 was so successful. Of course, this is entirely made up, but that's what you gotta get after 20 years of telling stories. So, thank you. Your turn.
So I get this meeting, I don't know if you guys have heard, I get a meeting to go to an audition for this movie called Nightmare on Elm Street.
Have you heard of it?
People were telling me, hey, so I met with this big Hollywood executive, and I go to his office, and I get there, and they say, you know, there's 2 things you need to learn about this role, Danny. One of them is bubblegum, and the other one is my cock. And I'm fresh out of bubblegum. And that's how I got Nightmare on Elm Street. Not to lie to you. No, now I take bubblegum to all my auditions.
That's not only just a lie, you've told that lie before.
Just kidding. That was it, guys. I don't know, we had a lot of fun. And it was a great movie, great experience. And it's awesome that we still get to hang out 30 years later. Next.
I'm not following that.
I want to thank everybody, first of all, because look what I got, because it's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yesterday, thank you. But this was waiting for me in my room from the hotel last night.
Aww.
With chocolate strawberries and some flowers and candy from my daughter and her boyfriend and a big balloon. So it really made it special to be with all of you. And I want to thank you all so much for coming. It was so fun to be with you for my birthday. And then, you're not going to believe this, but I was going to tell my story. It's like Lisa's story, and we didn't know this. A month ago, I had a Nightmare on Elm Street experience because I had a tree trimmer come to my house. And I recognized him when I saw him that he had burgled my house once before while we were at our convention in Phoenix. When I came back, my house had been burgled, and I knew it was he. And anyway, so when I saw it was this guy, I, without saying a word, went back into my house, got my cell phone, which is an iPhone without a cover on it, so it's metal. And I came out and I went to take a picture of his 4-door white pickup. This was on July 31st. And as I went to take the picture, he tried to grab me. I had it in his hand. He pried it out of my hand. He was a big, tall guy, maybe 6'2", you know, solid, muscly, with a scary face, not young, and bashed me with my cell phone on my forehead right here. I didn't say a word, so not a word was said. No screaming, no word, no argument. It was all in silence. Happened so fast. So you guys just, I'm telling you this also just for protection because it happened so fast. There wasn't even any time to scream or anything. It just happened. And then he threw my cell phone as far as he could and he left. So I went to the police and I went to the hospital, but I'm just telling you that this happened and these things can happen. And it was like a nightmare, and it was like a nightmare on Elm Street. It was like a nightmare on Elm Street, as if I were Nancy or Tina or any of the kids, and it was close to how much I didn't live, you know, like somebody can just go crazy on you, you know, whether it's Freddy or people. So be careful out there. The guys are out there. I think they're mostly guys, I'm sorry to say. But they are out there, and believe it or not, a cell phone is a weapon. It has a sharp, if it's metal, it has a sharp edge on it. And it can really bash you. And it gave me concussion, and I'm getting over it. And, you know, they spoke to him. I don't know whether they'll be able to incarcerate him or do anything. I think he's probably a psychopath. I don't think just your normal tree trimmer is out. So anyway, I love you. A story from the set that I never told should probably, if it hasn't been told yet, should remain untold.
Lisa, what's your untold story from this set? Not that time you dated Alice Cooper. Our father.
That's my story.
That's all
No,
right.
I was hoping you'd have one because all I remember is working every day, all day, really hard. I don't remember anything like, hysterical or charming or shocking. Or do you remember anything from our one?
I remember something that I've never told this story before. I've told it, but not to a con. Lisa, which one of our films together ends at the fountain?
Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Great.
With me and Danny.
I'm
and
still thematic.
Yeah.
So,
And the
that was the
reflection
last
in the
day of
water.
shooting.
Yes.
Last day of shooting. And I moved to Laurel Canyon by that time. And I've been painting and, and I'm like, listen, I'm like the last guy you want to change a tire. But it's the last day and I'm looking forward to it. And I had just bought a brand new 85 Mustang. Convertible, 5.0, and I could never get it to corner right because it had so much torque. I was putting, cement bags in the trunk, and I really needed to change my tires. But anyway, I was figuring it out. And it was the last day, and I think we'd had a little party the night before, and I got up, and I was younger then, and stronger then, and I jumped in the car, and I drove down Laurel Canyon, and I knew I was going to turn and cut over to Franklin and go all the way to Griffith Park where we were shooting. And there's two things I cannot pair together, and they are toothpaste for good breath, and then that thing you all want in the morning also, orange juice. If I brush my teeth and I drink orange juice, it's the death knell. And I'm halfway down Laurel Canyon, and I'm looking forward to being the last time I wear the Freddy makeup for a while. And I hurled. And it was that involuntary hurl. I mean, I was not in pain or discomfort. My mouth opened up, and my dashboard filled with vomit. About 3 or 4 days of Nightmare on Elm Street 4 craft service. And believe me, if you were demoted to 2nd or 3rd unit, it was Jif peanut butter with flies on it. And some cheese whiz. So I pull up, and I never try to pull the star card. And this is the first time I did it on the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I pulled up, and we have the Teamsters, the drivers are all there. And I'm like, I'm not green, I feel fine. I've hurled whatever was in me that didn't like it out. But my brand new Mustang. And it was slipping and sliding all the way through Hollywood and Los Feliz, just rolling. My beautiful new Mustang. And I remember I got out, grabbed a 20, and I begged the guys, the Teamsters to clean. They had asked me before. And I staggered in, and here's the thing, I'm sitting next to Lisa, and everybody's bringing their kids. It's the last day, they want pictures with their kids. So I took like about 10 photos with the most adorable little Hollywood children, and I had the worst breath in the history of mankind because I couldn't put toothpaste back in my mouth, which started it all over again. So that's an original story and a gross story, and I apologize.
Never heard it.
Well, I think we're I don't think we're going to top that. I think we're going to move it out to the audience. So if you have questions, please raise your hands high or gloves, as the case may be there. And my lovely assistant here will get to you. I'll take the left, you take the right. Yeah. Here. All right. I'm going to go in the back first.
This is a question for Robert. What work can we expect to see you in soon?
Well, I just finished a very strange voiceover job. If you remember the great fractured fairy tales that were paired with Rocky and Bullwinkle back in the day, Jay Ward, a genius, and I just did one for Adult Swim. And I play not only one of the three bears in Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but I also play Goldilocks' father, who's been turned into a gob of snot. For some reason, I'm into a gross theme today. That's not really me. But you know, Adult Swim, they have characters, you know, they have talking farts and things on their boats. But Goldilocks was played by Linda Blair with a Valley Girl accent. And I'm really looking forward to doing more of those shows. They're terrific. I have a virtual reality show in elongated post-production, but directed by one of the most gifted young directors going, Alexander Aja, who did that great Daniel Radcliffe movie, Horns, which has an extraordinary young cast. Alexander's doing a movie right now with Sam Raimi in Belgrade, Serbia. But we still have more to finish on it. It's tricky. Virtual reality is the narrative form. It's a very fine line before you violate sense of measure. You really can't watch a story being told in a virtual reality mode that long. I know Ready Player One has some sequences. We're trying to get it down to like about 10 to 15 minutes, segments. And these are ghost stories told around a campfire. And got to work with all of the kids that are on the London's Broadway, the West End, all the stars of Annie and Spring Awakening and Matilda, you know. So after every take, there's 45 minutes worth of downtime because 11 cameras have to be cleaned, 11 electrical impulses have to be checked, 11 replays have to be checked. And so after every time we said cut, you have to be able to just sort of simmer and hold your energy and remember what you did in the last take, because you're going to get more direction, more things are going to change and acclimate to different cameras and different angles. And the kids would break into all of their songs from Broadway, you know. So for about a month in Spain, I was humming the love theme from Annie. But you can look forward to those. Got a show on Netflix right now called Night World, and a show on demand under Horror Independent right now with the fabulous Lynn Shay from Insidious, and it's called Midnight Man, the game you shouldn't play.
Hey, Robert, over here. Which bear were you?
What?
You said you're one of the three bears.
Well, my bear is named Beehive because he's got his head stuck in a beehive because he's looking for honey. So I think they're going to put an echo on him. But I just played him dumb.
That's awesome.
It's fun to play dumb.
Winnie the Pooh.
All right, I've got one back here for you.
This question is for Robert. So there are very few actors who have the ability to make the character instead of the character making them. When you first started Nightmare on Elm Street, how difficult was it to become Freddy? What different things did you have to do? Because it's not a simple character. It's,
well, here's the thing you guys have to understand. I get a lot of bonus love because my character is the logo for the experience you've all had over the years watching our 8 movies and enjoying them and hitting the pause button and replaying your favorite scenes of Amanda being dragged across the ceiling. And I am the logo. Freddy is the symbol of Nightmare on Elm Street. But the movies, each movie is about a different young woman. And it's her journey, and it's her quest. It's Alice's quest, Lisa Wilcox's quest. Well, not Amanda, I think it's just Amanda getting beat up. But it's Tuesday's quest, it's Heather Langenkamp's quest, it's Lisa Zane's quest, it's Monica Kena's quest. And that's the real key to the movies. I actually could have probably waited for 2 or 3 other films to really nail it down, you know, because I am this sort of symbol and I don't have a lot to say as Freddy. But, and I've told this story a lot, it was hot, it was the summer of '84, and we were at the old Desilu Studios with the old barber chair makeup chairs. These kids have heard this so many times. But I'd been up since 4 in the morning. I was getting touched up at 9, and in waltzed Johnny Depp and Heather Langenkamp. Like, arguably, the 2 most beautiful young actors in the world at that moment. Dewy, young, moist, eyelashes that you could land a plane on. They're polite, they're smart, they're drop-dead gorgeous. I'm sitting there getting poked with a crusty old brush. Somebody's basting me with KY jelly like a Thanksgiving turkey. And they hand Johnny Depp and Heather Langenkamp little fans, little pink battery-operated plastic fans to keep them cool. And I was like, what am I, goddamn chopped liver here? And I was older, and I was hot, and I was sweaty, and I was itchy. I had a hit #1 television show, and I was wondering, did I do the right thing by taking this film? Was this the right career move? And I hate talking like that, but I was thinking that then. And I looked over at them, and then they start giving Heather and Johnny glamour makeup. You know, like Johnny Depp does not need eyelash liner. You know, and Heather it looks like Brooke Shields in the morning when she wakes up. She's so beautiful. And I sat there and I resented them, and I resented their youth, and I envied them, and I envied their youth and their whole careers and lives ahead of them. And I was an old man of 30, but I thought to myself, you know, I can use them. Because what does Freddy do? He kills youth. He's a child killer. That's a symbol, that's a metaphor. Because what are children? They're the future. Freddy's killing the future because there's no place for him. And I could use the very real emotion of my envy and resentment of these gorgeous young actors, Johnny and Heather. I could turn that on because that's a synapse. I've already had that thought. It's like having a rehearsal. You can just click that on as an actor. It's an old trick. It's called sense memory. And I was able to use that every time I had to instantly get angry at anybody. You know, I could just find that thing, and I could transfer it to Amanda and to Tuesday and to Lisa and to Lisa. I was able to use that with all of them. That same little moment. I would just call that moment back, and that was the real insight for me into how to play Freddy.
Awesome, thank you. For Robert, actually,
guys, there's a lot of us up here. Believe me, I'm a greedy guy. I'll jump in, but let's sort of spread the love around.
I can ask a question to Amanda too. I got one for her too, so okay. I'll go ahead and ask Amanda this question. For the first kill, when you're
she's in room 334.
When you're getting dragged along the ceiling, what was it like to film that scene, that iconic scene? How hard was it?
Well, it wasn't that it was hard, it was challenging. It more for the technicality of it. It was a room built inside of a soundstage, and there was literally like on a full, there was men outside with a crate, right, that like spun it around. And I was always on the floor. Everything in the room was nailed down and glued and shellacked, and you know, I made it look like I was being propelled by Freddy even when he wasn't there. Part of it was once the blood was introduced, like because I was bloody already, and we had to go bit by bit because we couldn't go back and redo anything once we got to a certain part of the floor. So in that sense, we all had to stay like really focused to make that happen. And then when the room finally went upside down, I got completely disoriented, and I thought I was falling. I completely freaked out. I thought I was on the ceiling, and Wes had to come in. We were on a very tight budget, and there's a great photo of him poking his head through the window that was on the floor, and he's like, "You're on the floor," and I'm like, "Get down, we're both gonna fall." Like, what are you doing? This isn't good for anyone. So he finally was like, he convinced me I was on the floor, and it was only because Wes was so convincing that I believed I was on the floor, but I knew I was not on the floor. And then Wes sped it up after that, because he was like, he was in there for maybe 3 or 4 minutes talking to me and was like, "Well, have to get out of here. This is crazy," because your mind just, the bed is over your head. You're like, you know, you assume you're gonna fall. And then Robert came in and we went around. Didn't you feel that disorientation a little bit once it started going around?
I had practiced, and I wasn't so disoriented, but I'll do a parenthetical. I told you I was greedy. I'll do a parenthetical to this moment of what you've asked, and then you can lose the last half of your question. After, there's a shot of Amanda being dragged, and there's a point of view over Nick Cordy down below in the corner of the set, and it's upside down. And you don't see Freddy. You don't see Freddy. You just see Amanda being thrashed about and dragged. And she leaves a snail trail of blood. So one of Wes's ideas was to do a point of view just before she dies, the last thing that Tina sees, and it would be Freddy holding onto her ankles. and pulling her. And his idea was to give Amanda the camera, and Amanda would shoot herself being dragged. Amanda is not allowed to operate the camera because she's not a union cameraman. It just so happened that our DP, director of photography, Jacques Hagen, his wife, Amy, was first camera girl. She was allowed to operate. So they took Amanda's costume and put it on, they took off Amy's jeans, they put it on Amy, and they matched the blood stains on Amy's legs to Amanda's legs, and they get me up on the ceiling, and I'm dragging, I'm dragging the camera. The camera's looking at me, dragging Tina, the last few flickers, moments of life of Tina. Well, I get all of the blood from Amy's leg on my cloth, and as I drop her, boom, her death. I just improvised a kiss of death with a claw hand. And when I did it, I blew her a kiss. And I had the congealed, theatrical stage blood webbing like a spider web between the blades of my glove. And between one of them, there was a bubble of blood. And it just floated down towards where Tina's head would be. Anyway, I saw this in dailies. And it was some hardcore shit. And Wes used it. Wes used that moment, which the censors went ape shit about. Wes used it. He said, well, I won't use that in the movie, but I want to have Ronnie burn longer, or I want to make it more bloody with one of the other characters, or with Amanda. And that's how he got around the censors. That was his sacrificial scene, even though it was great. Somebody, somewhere has that footage, and it's amazing. But that's part and parcel of your answer. But that's the Amanda Wiss, Tina memorial getting dragged across the ceiling, iconic scene.
And the things that have been cut for different versions on television, or to make the movie shorter or whatever in some places. Because remember on the fire scenes, since you mentioned, there are some fire scenes where Robert and I worked and on the closing and the grabbing of the door and stuff, where I don't exactly know what happened. And I know Robert probably does, and we could talk about that, but I know on some of the fire, it had to be taken out because the fire was too close to me, Marge, on the bed, and it was not allowed by union rules. So there's lots of footage that had to be removed or was later removed for editing, recently brought up to me online, because one scene with Marge and Nancy in the basement with the claws, a portion of that was removed for a television-length version of the film, and now it's been sent to me back online, and people are wanting to see that again, and I'm thinking, you're saying these scenes with you guys, I mean, there are probably a lot of things that may not have been allowed at the time that may be allowed now, and I did think of that thing as far as scenes that I don't remember or haven't told stories of before, and maybe Robert could tell about the firework and with me and Robert on fire and going through the door at the end.
What was that love scene with you and I that cut down? I don't know why.
You mean when I was dead?
I did. I reached through. I put Australian water gel on my claw. And I reached through a flame bar to caress you. And that's not it. I remember doing that.
See, that's exactly the stuff I wanted to hear.
I had to get to Mom. Another question.
So endearing and charming.
So I actually wanted to ask all the ladies up there about the empowerment that these films give women, because you kick his ass in all of these movies. No offense, but you kick his ass in all of these movies, and it's fantastic to see. And I know there's a massive movement right now about this. A lot of it thanks to Heather's I Am Nancy documentary, which shows what these movies mean to women and it's fighting your oppressor, really, and your attacker. Can you talk about that?
Can I take this one? Oh, sorry.
Me too, bitch.
I'll deal with both of you after. All right. No, I think that's a wonderful question. And what it does come down to in the Nightmare on Elm Street films as well is female empowerment. There's a lead female in each of the films. And what I like to say about Alice Johnson in particular is that, Alice is a wallflower. She is meek and weak, and she lives in daydreams. She doesn't live in any kind of reality. So it's interesting that her world becomes about dreams and being pulled into dreams. Well, of course, we see Alice grow and a character arcs, and she takes on the qualities of her friends and embraces them, the good qualities and the bad. Notice she starts smoking. Okay? So just to see that arc and the strength to build up, I see it as like I'm kind of doing this motto: Alice lives, your character lives as well. In that it's really about battling any kind of disparity in your life and surviving it. And in a world, too, think of the 80s, compared to now, that me thing is really happening. It's like we're still dealing with a women's lib movement, and it just keeps evolving with female equality. And so that's pretty much what I have to say about it. So thank you for noticing the empowerment of the female characters in these films.
Well, I got my ass kicked, so I did try.
But damn good fight, girl.
I did.
I
did put up a fight, but I got my ass kicked. What can I say? Freddy got me.
I mean, as far as I understand this question. I think sometimes I feel like we celebrate the strongest victim still as women being victims that are always being preyed upon in these movies, and I think we have to be careful about that. However, it is amazing just collectively as females to see somebody, fight hard or kick someone's butt or, physically powerful, because I think often we don't feel physically powerful. And I think that even the more modern stories that are being told now in horror and in film in general, you come across some really interesting multi-layered females that are just represented as a human that happens to have a vagina. And she's amazing and strong and powerful, and I think that we're really moving towards celebrating the power and strength of a woman that doesn't necessarily have to fight like a guy to be strong and amazing. And so I think that we're really getting there, and I think horror is taking a big move towards that, and I think horror in many ways does celebrate women. I just like us to be careful about preying upon the women. Those are my thoughts.
Well, Marge killed Freddy.
Good, guys.
Won't you let this go? Oh my God.
How can I let it go, Dana? There's something more to know, so please just tell me.
Caleb, I have told you, I really just don't want to talk about it. Would you please let it go? I want you to trust me. I want you to believe that it's just a kiss, okay? Please.
I know it's more than that. There was a romantic relationship. You can't lie about that, and you can't keep lying. Please just tell me the truth. I'm giving you the chance to tell me right now everything. If you have any respect for me, please just tell me. Did you have sex with him? Dana, did you have sex with him?
Good, cut. Let's do one more of this. And whatever happens, happens. That was great. Yes, thank you. That was perfect.
Just tell me. Be honest with me. Why are you just running away? How can you do that? We can't just let it go. You have to tell me the truth. It was a romantic relationship, wasn't it? I'm giving you the chance to tell me right now everything.
Caleb, please get out of here.
Just tell me. Dana, did you have sex with him? Did you? Tell me what I need to know. Tell me the truth. I know there's more to this thing. I know there is. Just be honest with me. I know it was a romantic relationship. Please. Tell me. I'm giving you the chance to tell me, Dana. I'm giving you the opportunity to just tell me everything.
First time, maybe a year. So it'll pull you out for a minute to kind of like switch places with Josh.
Okay.
And then the same thing, when she comes back through, Josh pick her up, follow her, Josie back. Yeah. So we had a couple moments of like, it's almost like Wild Kingdom, you know, watching the chase. So, make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do that, and I think we're good with this beat.
The story.
So,
Like of the
if there's any
show.
you guys, what's that?
You think you're getting what you're getting?
Yeah, absolutely. My only concern, I was telling Josh, my only concern is because things are like,
That's years
it's
away.
happening more quickly than I'd imagine, like, within, it's like I'm imagining right now, like if I'm editing this together, we're maybe at minute 5.
The second movie,
The whole thing.
Right, of the whole thing. Like, by the time you say, yes, I did have sex with him, this is minute 5. It really needs to be about another, like, 15 minutes longer. So we've got a lot of ground to cover in the next like 4 or 5 hours, but these are more sort of longer monologue, like of like one person telling their side of the story. So I think we can like, and the other thing too is expanding the time by the cutaways, like you. And it may go like that. I don't know.
Show, but they probably shot that.
Will people sit for a minute of silence?
Yeah. Which that doesn't mean that they won't put it out.
What's that?
Oh, I know.
Castaway.
Castaway, yes, good point. Good point. Very good point. All right, so, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back at it. We are back on schedule. We are 10 minutes behind schedule. What? What's going on? How are we doing on the batteries?
I just put one on charge.
I think we'll swap this one out.
We swap it out. I'll get this guy charging somewhere. Thank you, sir.
Where's the thank you? So
No,
Vicky,
thank you, sir.
Yes.
look what we're doing. Are we mixing 5 and 3 together?
No.
Because in 5 it's
Yes.
not, you know.
We're taking out the action of the packing things and putting it here, but the core content of it will be
Okay, yeah,
different.
because she offers to me instead
Yeah.
in 5. Okay.
So we may go back to you, like getting some things, but like the initial action, we're going to switch to.
So I'm not offering to leave here yet.
What's that, James?
No,
What'd you say, sir?
I forget. There was something I said the width room, but eat shred.
It's running. Okay, doke, let's roll them. Speedy? Speedy, for 3 speed, you roll. Auto mixtape, roll 1, beat 4, take 1, and mark it. Okay, Josh, go ahead and get the room in there. Actors, take your time. Whenever you're ready, just go for it.
Caleb. Hey, what are you doing? No, listen. Just here, let's stay and talk. We can talk now, okay?
No.
Please.
There's nothing.
Oh, okay, there's nothing. Yes, there is. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Please, please.
Fine. That guy?
I know, and nothing was going on.
We got to know each other.
I know.
I don't see how we could do that. Fine, then tell me. Exactly what happened.
Oh, cut. Okay, good. Hold for a minute. Good guys, come here, Beck. I got a technical thing. I got your pack. There we go. Josie, I think I got your pack too. Gotta cover you up. One more time. Josie, you know, trying to get out. Okay? And her, however you gotta stop. Physically, you know, whatever you can do, block the door. Spend a little more time doing that. And then, Josie, when you finally start about the guy, just go off about that guy. Is there somebody in your life that you know of? Is there some dude that you know of that has hit on Katie when you're not around that you just like would love to lay into? Can you just talk about that guy and just go off everything you hate about that guy?
Yeah. That guy! We hung out.
I know. And nothing was going on when you were there. I promise.
We obviously felt something for you.
I don't even know. That was weeks after you were there. I swear to God. Please don't go. Caleb.
No, I have to go. God, oh, why him?
Because he was there. I don't know.
Dan, please get out of my way.
No.
Give me my keys.
No. Now that it's
Damn.
out in the open, we have to talk about it, okay?
Fine. Then tell me. Tell me what happened. Tell me, when did it start?
A couple weeks after you were there. I don't want to talk about it because I know it will just continue to hurt you.
What happened?
You really.
Yes, I want to know. Yes. What happened? When did it start? So weeks after I was there? There was nothing before that?
Hurts in or whatever it is about the guy that you know. Some specifics that we can. Okay. This is like starting to get vicious now. A little bit like, you know, you would never talk to her like this other than this.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think. Do you want me to stay or not? Yes. I want to know everything. How, where, when. That's the basic gist of it, okay? It's that little interchange. And Josie, I think come right in. Let's back right back and forth, okay? This is sort of the height of this is do or die. If you leave or don't leave, okay? And rehearsal, action.
Tell me everything that happened.
The details aren't important.
They are to me.
I don't think.
I don't care what you think. Tell me everything.
Do you want me to stay?
Do you want me to stay?
Yes.
Then
tell me everything. That's
then
it.
tell me everything.
That's
when,
great.
Where? Why?
How many times?
How many times?
Did you do it on the bed that we slept in? All right?
Yeah.
Let's do it again. You ready? That was great. And rehearsal and action.
Tell me everything that happened.
But the details aren't important.
They are to me.
I don't think.
Oh, I don't think.
I don't care what you think. Tell me everything. Do you want me to stay?
Yes.
Then tell me everything.
What do you want? What do you want to know?
When? Where? Why? In the bed that we slept in?
No.
Good. Good. That's it.
Let you do takes.
So let's just keep it moving forward. Any of you forget the line, it's not a big deal. I'll call it out to you, okay? We'll just keep it going.
Cool.
Now where to make this happen?
Four and a new one.
As they're exiting this, and let's go to make it that you're grabbing your keys. Okay? Come get your keys. Whirl around her. Come into details. Go ahead and get your keys first. So it kind of gives you like an impulse to come out of the room.
Yeah.
She follows you out, okay? So it's all going to take place sort of standing in this.
Grab it and then tell me everything into these lines.
Maybe can we add a wait to the beginning of it? Wait. Whirl around her. Tell me everything. Okay? So really like.
And it's up. Do you want all this stand up? Or you want this?
Yeah, all of it up.
Okay.
All of it. Let's get really like, and just very amped up. Because what's going to happen is, okay, once it's this, I'll tell you all the details. The next thing we cut to is going to be a little more like, maybe that sort of long silence, or it might be like it's you two stationary again.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So we're going to start back in there. Josh, you're going to pick them up. Look back. Sorry, Josie, let me push you back into the room.
Okay. So I'm on her?
Yeah, you're going to pick her up. You're going to be sort of over his shoulder picking her up.
Okay.
Josh is going to be on Josie. Okay. Let's just see how it looks. Again, look through. I'm going to have to roll. And rehearsal, action.
Caleb, wait.
Tell me everything.
I don't think the details are important.
They are to me.
I think
I don't care what you think. Tell me everything. When? Where? Was it in the bed that we slept in?
No.
Do you want me to stay?
Yes.
Then tell me everything.
Good. That was great, guys. And it's like the lines will come. We'll do it. How is it? You all right? Hey, Josie, come on out for a minute. On a Sunday afternoon. Josie, I'm going to stand you up against this thing here. Because I don't feel like you would be.
The left side of that swing is kind of.
Is I don't feel like you would necessarily sit. So I think when you do sit, I'm just going to slump you down exactly where you are. And sit you. Yes, just like that. Can I stand you up for a minute, sir? Just let me push you to that side of the thing there, because I got this. I got the light switch right behind you there.
Both of them together, I think, is what, half the length is our turn?
Okay, let me get set here, guys. Josh, are you set? Whenever you're ready, Becca.
Well, the first time we kissed was a couple weeks after you visited. And, I don't know, I guess we hung out a couple times with other interns. You know, and nothing special. And then one night he asked me to go on a drive with him to the national park. And I'd never seen the park at sunset, so I said, sure, I think it'd probably be beautiful. Anyway, so we got up there in a parked car, and we got out and we found a rock that overlooked a valley, and we just sat on the rock and watched the sunset. And it was really beautiful. And we sat there and we were kind of talking, not talking for a while. And I looked over and I noticed that he was watching me. Anyway, after a while, he moved closer and I don't know. It was just, surreal. and perfect. And when he put his arm around me, I looked up at him again, and then we kissed.
Perfect.
You know, it wasn't my life. I don't know, it felt... I just felt like I was someone else.
Go ahead and slump down, Josie.
Anyway, so we didn't really hang out very much after that. When I got home that night, I didn't know how I felt. I didn't know if I just felt guilty or if I felt happy or both. And you know, we hadn't been talking a lot lately. And I mean, you were busy. You were really busy this summer. And between the time difference and my schedule, we just weren't talking. So I felt really disconnected. I didn't feel like us.
Why didn't you just tell me?
So it's probably another week until we saw each other next week. Well, that was the second time that we kissed. And when he kissed me that night, just went further. You know, I just had never been kissed like that before. You know, I feel like it's been so long since we have been like that. But it was just nice to be held again and to be completely enveloped by someone.
I wonder if we can put something in front of it. So there's not the wildlife thing in the back. So we'll Withrow to address the back. Hey, Withrow.
Yes.
When we're looking through here, we're seeing
No, the light there.
yeah. Can we address this a little bit so they can use it? He's a foreigner now. So we in the foreign land of Savannah.
So how many episodes of Friday Night Lights have you watched now?
Well, I watched that whole first season. I've seen the whole first season. Like I watched that one. When you get up, just go for it. Go ahead and pull it down. And then the hug. Go ahead and you stay there. I'll come pull it down for you. Okay. We ready? Roll.
Sound rolling.
Camera speed.
All right. This is roll 1, beat 6, take 2, and mark it. And action.
I think I'm gonna go. It's broken. I don't see how it can work, and I don't want to give you the false hope.
Well, then I'll go. You see.
Why would you do that?
I'm afraid if you go, you won't come back.
Keep going. You're good. Good. Cut. Good, guys. Yeah, we'll fix that, Josh. All right, that was good. I think that we're gonna do it one more time. We got a little light. Maybe Josh has to fix where it's in the frame. But let's do the whole thing one more time.
When I walk in, should I walk behind you so that I don't cause a crazy shadow?
Josh, what do you think?
When I walked back in, I went like this. I don't know if I caused a shadow.
Kinda, you can walk behind me.
Okay.
Hey, when I call action, go ahead and do a little more time before
More
you
time?
come in.
Okay.
All right, this is on a mixtape. Roll 1, beat 6, and take 3. And action. Hold it for a minute, Josie. And whenever you're ready.
I think I'm gonna go. I don't see how this can work. And I don't want to think of it again.
Well, then I'll go instead.
It gets a little muffled when they hug, but
Yeah. I think, and I was kind of thinking about that, but I think that people are going to know what she's saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can understand what
Oh,
she's
yeah.
saying and all of that.
It's just like roughly.
Basically, it's just all the ambient disappears.
Gotcha. Okay, let's grab the B camera. Jinx, you got that?
Yeah. Still gonna do beat 6?
Yes, please. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
And Jinx,
Yeah.
come over here. We'll put you in B camera for now, and you're going to pick up Becca when she comes in over here.
Steve's.
Cool. Yes, what was you?
So, interesting.
Sure. Yeah, you right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sandwich? Chris, come on over.
Yeah.
You graduate.